welcome in everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast, and of course, Pags and myself are bringing it to you today. How's it going, man?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. How was the weekend? Do
Uh,
anything fun?
yeah, I went to baseball games all weekend, so I was, and it's weekends are starting to become longer and longer for me, where I just don't get much sleep.
Yeah,
You know,
that makes sense.
like Friday nights, I was like, oh yeah, let me see if I can get to bed early, like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to bed. Oh, let's try better on Saturday, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to bed. So
Oof.
it's like yesterday, like let's fight it, and then of course I try to go to bed early, and I just sit up in bed and don't fall asleep until about 5 o'clock in the morning. So it's like, yeah, this is it's that time of year.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Fair enough. Mine was relatively uneventful just because I was just at home, so it was just got some stuff done around here. Uh, my wife was off on a girls' weekend, so I actually got some stuff done.
I can appreciate that. And next weekend's going to be a busier weekend for you.
It is. It is. You're coming to town, so that's going to be fun. We
Yeah, it's
hopefully the Mariners can not get swept. That's my goal for this weekend.
Well, you're catching us at an interesting time. Obviously, we lost the last four series.
Yeah.
Um, like yesterday was a little bit of a hurt because uh, we had a new pitcher pitching and pitched really well. Just had one pitch that kind of got away from him, and that wound up being a 3-run home run. And then they wound up scoring an extra run in the eighth inning or the seventh, late in the seventh inning, and that was they wound up winning 4-3. Uh, it's interesting to me. Obviously, when we won the game, every game that we've won, I feel like in the last 10 games or so, because we've been 3-10, have been shutouts,
Oh,
like
okay.
8-0 shutouts.
Oh,
So it's like I feel like it's been very odd that we are having this dilemma where we bring it one day and these other games are like fights that were just coming out on the back end of things. So it's there's been a couple games that we've lost badly, but not many. It's all been fights that they have just you know Cleveland's got a really good team. The fact that they took two of three out of here uh, says something more probably about their team than ours. However, when you look at how many runs were scored, I think we outscored them by 5 runs.
yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, the Guardians are a good team, so I
Yes.
mean, it's not like dropping a series to them would be the worst thing ever. Now, the Mariners, they beat the brakes off the White Sox, outscoring them in this series 22-6. But it's the White Sox, so who cares? I mean, you have to win those games, obviously, but it doesn't tell you anything about our team because they tied the White Sox tied their longest losing streak in franchise history at 14, which they set earlier this year. So, I mean, they're on pace to have the worst season since 1900 of any baseball team. So, us winning those 3 games, I mean, how excited can you really be? Now, when we go play the Red Sox, today? I think we start that series. Or
I
is it
believe so.
tomorrow? Yeah, it's today. So that one will be a little more interesting because the Red Sox aren't a bad team. They've been inconsistent, but they're not a bad team. So
Correct.
we'll see. We'll see what we can be against them, and then of course you guys come to town, and we got to win at least one of those for no other reason than I don't want to go to 3 games, get smacked every single game.
Well,
What?
and I don't think that'll be the case. The one thing that I will tell you about the Phillies right now is that they are having a difficult time with the bats. That good pitching has actually prevailed against them, and that's one thing you guys have. So I can't guarantee that you guys will get beat up like that, but I wouldn't be surprised to see like 4-3 games or like 5-3 games where you're not getting smacked around so badly
Yeah,
that the pitching's holding up. Uh, but 4 is the magic number for you guys. You guys got to score 4 runs to be able to win, and I don't know that that's going to case.
Yeah, because it's not like you guys have bad pitching. So
Right.
like, it's not like you guys have awesome bats but bad pitching. You guys are probably the most balanced team. Um, so I mean, it's going to be a battle. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to be 4 or 5 runs tops. And honestly, I like those games. Right?
Yeah, it makes it fun. It goes a little bit back and forth. They're fast.
Yes.
So like 2.5 hour games is. I mean, that's the one thing I like about the pitch clock. You know, I mean, the
Yes.
pitch clock really has sped everything up, and your pitcher has to pitch to 3 players. So I like that too. It's like that you're not having guys coming out to pitch to one guy and then another change and stuff like that. So the game has really sped up some. I mean, we were watching the game the other night, and it was like literally 2 hours and 24 minutes long,
Yeah.
which was awesome. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, this is perfect. And of course, it was nothing going into the ninth inning where we scored 3 runs. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, a nothing game is generally fast anyway.
right.
You know, because I mean, that's just 3 up, 3 down the whole way through. You know, with the occasional hit here and there. So it's they're usually pretty quick. But yeah, I'm a fan of the pitch clock. When they first brought it out, I wasn't sure I was going to love it, but it is kind of nice to keep things going, especially some of those pitchers that had kind of ridiculous windups. That I mean, they seemed like they were just camping out there.
Right.
You know, like there's a couple of rules that I like. Like I like being able to check the runner at first a couple of times. You know, we're seeing more stolen bases because of it. I don't feel like they needed to make the bases bigger. I feel like that's kind of dumb, but or the start.
Well, you know what? I talked about that to somebody. I was told that they kind of made those bases bigger, specifically because of cameras. They they needed to make them a little bigger to make the camera actually work. So it's
Well,
like it's funny as that sounds that way, but
no, I've heard that, and I heard it also had to do with them wanting to implement the you can't block the plate, so they were giving you more plate face to be able to get to. So I mean, like there's elements of it that make sense, although you know baseball purists think all of it's dumb, but but I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, like there's quite a few of the new rules that I do kind of like.
but uh, yeah, Brad, we'll see. I mean, Austin is, he can hit left-handed pitching. So let's, we need that because we don't really have many people that can hit left-handed pitching. And Schwarber decided that he brought his bat for the first couple at bats. After that, nobody else decided to bring their bat, which was a little frustrating. So again, you can't lose championships in July. And it's interesting how even as the Phillies in their last 41 games have gone 20-21, so they are a game under 500 in their last 41 games, they are still in the lead of the best record of baseball by 2.5 games. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's even after all of that, not everybody else has been kind of doing the same thing. This is why they call it the dog days of summer.
yep.
So I'm not concerned about this. August is going to change the calendar. Like we did really well in June. July we can forget about, and then August, like I said, the hardest part about all this is that we do not have a lot more home games available to us. We're on the road a lot.
So, you start the season off at home a lot?
Yeah, there was a lot of home games starting to start us off. May was mostly at home, and June was also mostly at home. So
weird.
Yeah, we have literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 series left at home for the rest of the season.
Wow.
That's a lot, out of all the series that are happening, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7 series at home, 10 series or 11 series away.
I mean, that's not too crazy.
Some of those series are 4-game series though.
Oh, I got you.
So
right.
it does make a difference. There's a lot more games away than there are at home.
Yeah, for sure. I
So
mean, I guess based on that, at least you guys started off on fire then. That way, if you cool off a little bit, it's not the end of the world.
and like I said, this is the dog days of summer. Yes, Paul, there are some fans that are a little nervous and saying, okay, blah, 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 blah. Truth of the matter is that it's not, I am not concerned right now. This is not the time to be concerned. I would be more concerned if by chance if this goes and extends to the middle of August, where we're losing series, and things like that, then I'd start to get, raise an eyebrow. Until that point, you know, I think that they're just ho humming this right now,
Mhm.
and it's not. It's just like, oh, okay, we're still the best team in baseball. There's no doubt in my mind. We're just, it's like I said, it's the dog days of summer. It's just happening right now. We'll be fine. We're going to be just fine.
Yeah, I really wanted the Dodgers to do a little better work against the Astros. They, it, the Astros end up winning that series, going 2-1, which has them and the Mariners tied for the first spot. Technically, the Astros are ahead, but
Yeah,
yeah.
and so it's and the Rangers just made a trade. They traded Michael Lorenzen, who was with the Phillies last year. He pitched one great game, got a no hitter, and then stunk the rest of the time. And then he went to the Rangers and realized that he still stunk. So now he went to the Royals. Um,
Well, and the
so
Jays just beat up on the Rangers, so they were closer than they are now. I think they're 4.5 games back now. Um,
yeah,
yeah.
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting, next week. Obviously, tonight I have the Yankees. So that's the Yankees for this series before I go away. So I'm actually going tonight and tomorrow night to do this. But Wednesday, of course, I will be missing because I am heading out to Seattle, and getting all excited about that game. And I actually have some friends that are going to be out there as well. So it's going to be interesting that there's going to be a bunch of us that are going to be going to the game. There's going to be some Phillies fans out there.
Hell yeah.
So. And
Yeah.
of course, I will be. And I wonder how. I mean, Seattle knows all about me, so it's not going to be a surprise to see the painted face.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to it.
So, but yeah, I'm. So am I. It's going to be. It's going to be a little bit of a race when I get into town because it's like I get in at like 2:30, and of course the game started at like 6:40. I assume out that time, or about 7 o'clock.
Wait, what? You're flying in Wednesday?
Tuesday. All right. No, I'm sorry. Friday.
Oh, you're flying in Friday.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Because you're going to be.
I'm going to
Yeah,
be in Denver at the
that's
Bush
right.
and Candlebox concert.
Okay.
I won't be painted up there, so anybody who thinks that I'm going to be painted up, you're going to be wrong.
What are you talking about? You should definitely do that. I think that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't know what colors to paint up for Bush or Candlebox. So that's the hardest part about doing face paint at a concert.
I mean, I feel like you just do the Bush Light can colors. You're
Right.
gonna do it.
Bush.
Exactly. We did get
So have
some.
we not got an update? Just
Oh, go
okay.
ahead.
Before we go, did we get an update from Stat Guy? Stat Guy, just so that everybody knows, this weekend, Stat Guy has made it to the finals. They had a doubleheader today, or they won the first game of the doubleheader yesterday. The final game does get moved to today because they
Yes.
had some inclement weather. But they are playing for all the marbles today. So good luck to him and his team.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and they were doing work against the other teams, so it was Hopefully they can keep that rolling. Because what they went, let's see, they won their first one 11-1, I think. They lost 8-6, but this was a double elimination.
Well, no, they won
Or no,
11-1, and then they won 15-0,
15-0. That's
and
right.
then they lost 8-6 to the number one team.
Yep.
And then they won. They won that game, which I think was like a
It was
close
a
one,
2-0 no hitter.
right?
So
And
that,
then they played the number one team again and beat them in the first game of the doubleheader because they'd have to win twice. They would have only needed to lose once, but they had to win twice to win the championship. They
yep,
won game one, and now it's going to be interesting because the both of their best pitchers. One of the things that we had talked about last week was that these pitchers can only pitch like 85 pitches, and then they have to go on a 4-day rest.
yep.
Well, now their number one guy who pitched for the number one team is back on the mound.
Yep.
And
In fact,
their
both
number
were
one
number
guy is
ones.
also.
Exactly. Yeah, both number ones get to go, which is awesome because then you have everybody's best for the championship game. That's exactly what you want to see.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, I think that's awesome. It's probably for the best that it got delayed one day to let all of their best players come in.
Right.
So,
And I got to imagine somebody thought about that a little bit. They're like, yeah, you can't use your pitcher, and they can't use their pitcher. And oh, look, it's about to rain here, maybe.
exactly.
So,
I don't
I
know
mean,
if
who
it's
knows if it even did rain? I mean, my thought is that somebody said, "Ooh, I think I see some lightning about 200 miles away. We're too close."
That's right. Good enough. Tomorrow it is. Absolutely. So yeah, hopefully they get the dub today. That would be cool. For him to come back on Wednesday as a national champ or division
Exactly.
or state champ, I guess.
We will see. We will see what occurs. But yeah, so sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off before that.
No. You're good. You're good. We actually had some movement on the quarterback contracts. So Tua gets paid 212.4, which at that exact moment he was the third highest paid. And then you had to know as soon as his deal was done, Love's would come through shortly after. It got done faster than I thought. It's like they were sitting there just waiting on the number, and then Tua's came through and they're like, oh, okay, 220, that'll work. And he is the highest paid quarterback ever. Talk about those 6 games really paying off for him.
How much was that contract? I'm trying to find
4-year,
it.
220. So that almost guarantees Dak gets 60.
So, well, I mean, at least I don't know about 60, but maybe 56. Because he's 55 million a year. That's what it comes out to. It's actually very simple for so
yeah, but you're giving 55 to what? You're giving 55 to him. You're giving 53 or something to Lawrence.
yeah, but it's all a matter of this is the dick in the sky thing. Who's got the biggest dick?
No,
So
that's exactly it.
And that's it takes $55.2 million a year or $55.2 million a year to be the biggest dick right now. You don't have to go 60 million.
True.
So that's where I kind of believe that and I still don't think Dak will get it done. Because what are they going to do? They're going to defer it. Hey, we're going to give you this signing bonus, and then next year you're going to make $1 million, and then the following years you're going to make 80 million. Is that how that's going to go? That's how it would have to play.
No, I think he plays out this year under his current deal, and then he's a Giant next year. Or a Raider or something. I could see something like that happening because those guys would pay him. The Cowboys can't. I mean, they already get a wicked cap hit if he, once he's not on the team. So then how are you going to defer that? Are you going to make it? Because, I mean, whether he's on the roster or not, he's 60 mil against the cap next year. So if you extend him, I mean, that just makes the back end of that even crazier than what his current one is.
Yeah. Oh no, I get it. I mean, it's like it's 60 million, and then I think it's 35 million after that. Um,
I think it's actually higher than that. I thought it was 40 something.
yeah, let's
So,
go.
but I mean, but based on those cap hits, so even if we say it was 30, you have to add his new contract on top of that stuff. And if you just completely backload it, then all of a sudden, what in 4 years, 5 years, he's going to be a $80 million cap hit. Like that'd be tough to stomach.
All right, so let's see. And at their cap table, their current cap table right now is they have $11 million in cap space. Obviously, their dead cap hit right now for him is $66 million, almost 67 million.
Oof.
And then let's see what happens in 25.
I mean, how do you not blow this whole thing up at this point?
And well, I mean that's what I would do, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to. Right, it's loading, it's moving very slowly. Okay, actually, next year is only a $40 million cap hit.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought. Yeah, I meant the 60 for this
40
coming.
million for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 67 this year.
Yep.
And then it's 40 million next year, and then just to see if it goes beyond that.
I don't think it does. I think
Next
that's
year, moment. So that's where if they're going to give him any money, that's where that money is going to go. And then is only a $12 million cap hit after that in 26.
yeah, but I think he's already out of all of the guaranteed money.
Right, but it's still going to be a cap hit, is kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So even if he's not on the team, he will get hit. Yeah, there will be a hit for him. But that's awesome. You know what I mean? Let's give him 100 million. I would love for them to give him 100 million a year. I think I'm back now.
Yeah, you got.
Am I here?
Yeah, you were kind
okay.
of.
I think I'm here now.
Yeah, you were breaking up.
Yeah, that was part of all the ads starting to come up on Sport Track. So as I was trying to get all that stuff together, so
I got you.
That's where that came from. So I apologize.
Yeah, you got blurry, and then it was like in and out.
Anyways, so it's 67 this year, 41 next year, and 12 and a half in 26.
Yeah, and then
whether he's there or not.
His last guaranteed money was last year, or he's got like nominal guaranteed money this year. Like obviously he still has, incentive bonuses and all that, but
right. I mean, and he gets paid per game. I think is true is 28 million this year.
Yeah.
Like that's what he's actually making this year. So
it is one of the things that I think people kind of miss. They're like, oh, the guaranteed money is gone. It's not like they're working for free after that. Like they still have their game checks and everything. Like there's
yeah, and they do okay.
Yeah, they make the numbers bump together just fine.
Yeah. It's like, hey, hold on, 28 million divided by 17 games is roughly 1.7.
Yeah. And then you figure that during the season, which means you're making 1.7 a week.
Yeah. Oh, no. That's kind of what I was getting at. So it's.
Right. And then, of course, there's more if you hit any of your incentives during the year. So, I mean, they're doing fine.
Yeah. He's going to live. It's like, hey, he's got to make sure he feeds his family.
Exactly.
That's
probably not standing in line for government cheese or anything like that. I think he's going to be okay. Maybe one less trip to Whole Foods. Maybe he has to hit an actual Safeway.
Let's face it, he's probably still going to Walmart.
That's fair.
The Walmart prices are just right now still the better prices.
No question.
I don't have to be rich, but I can be frugal.
Yes.
So, but anyways, I mean, so yeah, I think that yep. I don't know that he's going to get the money like that. And now seeing what they have in cap space, it wouldn't surprise me if they franchise him.
What, Dak?
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I
Right
guess.
now, you get the average of the top 5. So
Yeah.
if you have 55, 53, 53, 51, and 50, you might be getting a discount by franchising him.
Well, yeah, because what? Goff is 55. Love is 55.
Yeah, Goff is like really 54 or
Yeah.
53, I think. I think Goff is 53, Tua is 53.
Okay.
And then you have like what's his face is also 53. So you have 55, 353s, and then a 51 or a 52. Because that would be somewhere around Rodgers. Rodgers would be about that much.
Yeah, and what is Wilson? Because
One.
it's no, because it's off of his contract is still getting paid by
Denver.
yeah, and if I remember right, his was north of 50 also.
That could be. He could
So
be the other one that's around 51. But it's only the average of the top 5. So either
true.
way, you aren't having to give him 60 million. You could just give him 54 million and still be cheaper.
Yeah, yeah. You could only franchise him once though, because that would just mean the next year would be what 20% higher than that.
Is it 20% or does it just have to be the number one?
No, it goes up by it goes up by 20, I think, each time, which is why you never see a guy get franchised like a third time, even though you're allowed to, is because the price is just insane.
Right. So, yeah, yeah. I mean, ultimately, if I was the Cowboys, that's probably what I have in my mind. Because you're not going to trade him, you're not going to let him go, and if he decides that he doesn't want to sign that contract, and put him out there, then that's going to be more on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because ultimately, you still have his rights. He doesn't become a free agent by not signing the contract, right? You still have all his rights. Yes.
Not advanced math there. When we were using our fingers and everything, it's okay.
I have a calculator in front of me, so I'm But yes, I mean, yes, there is a lot of math that goes involved with this. I mean, that's part of this. This is why the cap is going to very interesting to see how they are going to play. And now that the Players Association is talking about the 18th game, they are trying to that you get more money. That's what this is.
Yeah.
This is about more money now.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're playing in 18 games in the grand scheme of things, anyways. We might as well get paid for it. So I wouldn't be surprised if that actually comes to fruition, not in 25, but in 26.
Oh, it'll be fast now that the NFLPA is in on it. Like it'll come through quick. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it now because they don't use the preseason the way they used to anyway. So we see a lot of bad football week 1. So we might as well just have an extra regular season game since that first regular season game is a preseason game now anyway. You might as well just make them all count. I mean, honestly. So I liked preseason before. You got to see guys get some work in and your starters kind of got ready for the year. But now, half the starters don't play until week 1 anyway. So let's just get the season going.
Right.
But
So, and I'd be willing to bet that along with this, that they may do like so. I'm trying to determine like that they're going to allow teams to do whatever they want to do. I have to imagine,
as
but
as far as what?
as far as how they want to pay their players. But I would not be surprised if they decide to do uh, a 25% cap on
Oh, for
quarterbacks.
position. So there is a conversation out there about cap per position.
It has to be. It
Yeah.
has to be. So, considering the fact that they would go to two, that right now they were at 264 and change, I think, for the cap. If they were to go to the 18th game right now, you're expecting that it would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $280 million. If you went at 25%, that's 70 million.
Yeah.
That's per year. Really, it should be probably going to be somewhere at 22%
Sure.
because that's like if you're at 20%, it's 56 million. Well, we're there already.
Yeah. Well, but you also keep in mind that outside of the COVID year, the cap continues to grow. So, 22% today isn't 22% 2 years from now.
Right. No. That's what I'm saying. I'm adding an extra 15 million in cap space specifically just because of the 18th game. And
No, I
then
know. But I mean, even then moving forward, you're still going to have that growth year over year because it averages like 7% or something anyway.
right. Eventually, money is going to stop. It's going to come down one year.
Oh,
It's
for
like
sure.
they're going to have a hiccup. Everything has a hiccup. So it's like
Yeah.
at
Well,
one
I mean,
point they're going to have a hiccup, and now all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh, snap, where we had a $290 million cap last year, it's at 286 or 284
yeah.
this
Well,
year.
and we did right after the COVID year,
COVID.
right? And so a lot of teams ended up having to dump guys. We saw a pretty wild free agency period because there were a lot of players that otherwise there would have been no chance they were leaving the team they were on. But, to Wen's point, oh my God, the math.
Right.
And, when you run out of money, you're just like, okay, well, there's elements of this team that we don't get to keep. And you got to watch teams like the Rams. I mean, they had a couple of issues with it. Not only did they go all in and defer a bunch of stuff, but then the cap drops. I mean, there's a reason they blew that whole thing up.
Yep. So
Going from
I
first to worst.
right. And it's funny as I'm looking in the we're talking about the cap, but as I'm looking at some of the stories, they're talking about Aaron Donald and how Aaron Donald should play in Dominican Sue. In terms of, hey, we're going to wait till 3 or 4 weeks left in the season, and guess what? I'm available if some team needs me to go on a Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Aaron Donald and Eagles green because they are the team that does that very, very well.
So what do you think they would give up to bring him though? Because
There is nothing to give up.
the Rams still have his
No,
his rights.
they don't. His contract was over.
I thought he
He
still
just
had like 2 years left on it.
no.
Oh,
No, so he's an unrestricted, I believe. I mean, at least that's what this story was saying. I'm gonna look back at this real quick just to be able to prove I'm right or wrong. Where is it? Where is it? Donald should come out of retirement for the playoffs.
Yeah, he still had this year and next year. He had a 3-year, 95 million signed in 22.
Okay, then he would have to. Okay, then there would have to be some type of trade.
Yeah, because there's no way the Rams would just be like, okay, best of luck, buddy, and they would want something.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's I mean, at that point, even a third round pick. It depends on where the Rams are at, because the Rams, if the Rams are going to try to go make a run, then
Well,
you
they
just
wouldn't
have
trade
them
him
come
at all.
back. Yeah,
Yeah,
you would just have them come back.
yeah. They'd be like, if you want to play, you're playing for us. We're not going to let you go to the Eagles and then beat us in the playoffs.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's we'll see. We'll see how that works. Like I said, I know that Sue does that. I have a feeling that Fletcher Cox is possible to do that. It
Yeah,
wouldn't surprise me if that. I know that Sue is probably out now. He didn't get picked up last year, so I don't expect that he'll get picked up this year.
yeah.
But
I think he's
Fletcher
done.
Fletcher Cox might.
I mean, if there was a team that was gonna give him a shot, Sue, uh, it would have been Seattle last year, right? Because you could have got him for nothing, and they needed all the help in the world.
Right.
So I think I think everybody's kind of moved on from Sue at this point.
Yeah, because I thought the Eagles were going to do it again.
Yeah.
To kind of pick him up, to just put him in that rotation, and I think that they probably just realized what was going on and didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? They're just like, hey, this is a whirlwind mess, and maybe it's just better for us to save the money rather than blow it right now. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So, and then it wouldn't have mattered anyways because we were one and done in the playoffs.
true. True.
So, and that brings us to the bottom of the hour.
It sure does. But nice quick one today. We are gonna do here in the Northwest. We have the True Fusion gyms here in Bellevue, Ballard, and University Village. University Village opened 2 months ago. Use the QR code on your screen right now for a free 5-day pass for Pilates boot camp, hot yoga, all of that. Find your edge at True Fusion Gym. And of course, talk about our Roku channel that you're watching this on right now if you're not on YouTube. And they have changed the name from Northeast Streaming Sports to National Streaming Sports as our channel continues to grow. We are reaching truly coast to coast.
Awesome. And anybody who's going to be in Seattle for the series, come on out. We are going to be out and about. I will be at that stadium early because I've never been there. I've actually heard that this stadium is actually a really nice stadium. I've
It
heard
is.
only good things about it. That there's some good food there. It's one of those stadiums that you can go in an hour and a half to 2 hours early and
Mhm.
enjoy yourself. You don't have to wait outside to do any tailgating. You could do all the tailgating right inside the stadium. So definitely reach out via Instagram for me, or Instagram is really going to be your best way to get in contact with me and find out where I'm at, and I'll be more than happy to share it. It's likely not going to be Buffalo Wild Wings because they don't sponsor us, even though somebody still likes to go eat there. I don't care that they don't sponsor us. They don't get any of my money.
Yep. Although this time around, I might actually be able to have them on as one of the locations for my sports bar series this year. So that could be fun. But yep, not sponsoring the show yet.
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 Okay. And also, do not forget, it is coming. It is coming. It is coming. August 19th at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 o'clock Western Time or Pacific Time. It's coming. That's right. The Tomahawk Steak Fantasy Football Choices. That's what we're doing. We are going to be taking fantasy football to a whole new level with Tomahawk Steaks.
Just gonna call it the Om Nom Show. I like it.
Exactly. Exactly. So, gotta have a tomahawk steak available. Like I said, we could have 6 people in this fantasy league. We could have 20 people in the fantasy league. Anybody who shows up, actually, we can only have about 10. But anybody who shows up,
Exactly.
because there's only 10 people that we can put on the show.
Well,
But
not just that, but once you have like I played in a 16 person, and if you go last, it's a rough spot.
right. No, I get it. So probably 10. 10 is going to be what we can put on the screen here at on our StreamYard, which is the program that we use to come to you every day. So you have to be in the top 10. Everybody's got to show up with the tomahawk steak in hand. In hand. We are not putting it on a plate. We are eating the tomahawk steaks like cavemen.
Exactly. Exactly. And Paul, I did not see that. So that is unfortunate. It seems like there is a lot of car accidents happening.
Yeah, this is part of the dog days of summer as well. This is the time where things just the heat brings out the crazy in people and people start just going nuts. So stay safe out there. It's important.
Absolutely.
But anyways, so
So I got a question for you. Did you watch? Did you watch the opening ceremony of the Olympics?
kind of.
Did it feel like to you? I mean, it did to me. Did it feel like they just like mailed this one in? Because I remember watching so many of these opening ceremonies that were pretty amazing as far as what they were doing, choreography behind it, all of that. But then you watch this one, and don't get me wrong, they obviously are, they were tying into things that are make sense regionally, but it just seemed like it wasn't done very well. Like it just seemed really poorly executed, and I don't know, just my
Well,
feeling.
I mean, I have seen that. So I saw them on the boat when they were having all the countries go in alphabetical order.
Oh, okay.
And that's really what I saw. I did not see the Last Supper thing that they did, or like a lot of Christians are really upset about the stuff that was going on. Like it's just like it's
Yeah,
that
I
they
feel
had
like
a
they
whole
might have
bunch of drag queens do the Last Supper thing, and
well,
like I
I
don't.
think that's what they were trying to do, really. I mean, but then they did a catwalk thing, which made sense. But yeah, they had a bunch of drag queens on the bridge. I don't know, like it was just a very weird opening. Um,
Yes, and leave it to the French to screw it up. It's like I mean, I have been watching a little bit of the Olympics. Obviously, it's like it's sports that's on TV, so it's um, I mean, there's a lot happening, but yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I don't really care. Oh, those opening ceremonies that like China did great, I think,
theirs
when
was
they had
amazing.
it,
Yeah,
when
theirs
they
was
did it, because
amazing.
they spent a lot of money on it.
Yes.
France didn't spend a lot of money on it. They spent a lot of money on trying to clean the river that everybody pooped in, so that when the
Right.
president, you know,
Yeah.
that's kind of what happened there. Um, you know, you know what I find funny? I find when they have all of the different personalities show up there. Like I saw, hey, it was Roger Goodell was there with Peyton
Mm,
Manning, you know,
sure.
and Snoop Dogg was
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and Jason
North
Kelsey
America.
was there, you know, the arm wrestling a girl from the rugby team who almost beat him actually. Um,
On what Flavor Flav is sponsoring the polo team, the water polo team.
that could very well be. I mean, and they said that. I mean, they made a joke with the beach volleyball team where he's like, "Our coach is here," and you got Snoop Dogg, who has the same birthday as me, by the way. We share a birthday. Uh, or he actually has my birthday. He was born a year ahead of me, but I was more important. Um, yeah. So, did you freeze? Ah, see, he froze this time. It wasn't me. It's not me this time. I am still talking. He's frozen. So, but yeah. So just watching all of that stuff and seeing who's all there is kind of funny and interesting. But I mean, nothing with these Olympics have been really exciting to me as of yet. It's really been um, meh at best. And that's what I figured. I figured he was just about out already. So, he's coming there. But yeah, I've watched like the fencing was kind of cool and stuff like that. And, like last night, I think they were doing some of the, uh, not judo, the what's it called? The when they push each other over. It's yeah. Anyways, and the swimming, we always seem to get swimming and such like that. Uh, his power blew out, so he'll be right back here in just a moment. We'll have him back, and we'll be able to conclude the show. And last I saw, you know right now the Americans were kind of on the top or tied for the top with France and Australia. I think Australia was up close to the top. With gold medals or with medal counts in general. It's it's that time. So sumo, that's it. Thank you, sumo wrestling. I knew it wasn't judo, sumo. I saw them kind of doing their thing yesterday. I don't know if anybody won that. Basketball, USA basketball crushed Serbia, which was kind of expected. I mean, Serbia had one guy on their team, and everybody else kind of stinks. Like it was like everybody was like 5'9", except you know that guy who, you know, and so they got crushed. The USA crushed them, as I expect that they're going to do. They're going to just run through this. The women's soccer is crushing everybody. It's like you get to watch these things. I kind of watch them fleetingly because like, oh yeah, look at that. That's Team USA over there, and um, I always like watching the beach volleyball because why wouldn't I like watching beach volleyball? Every time they go to pick up the ball, you almost want to just be like, hey, why don't we just stop it right there? We can kind of watch all that stuff.
There we go.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, that was fun. Just power poof.
Power surge, I guess. Yeah, I was just talking about how I enjoy the beach volleyball.
I mean, all right. No,
especially when they're doing menial tasks like picking up the ball. Yeah, those are fun. But yeah, team. Are you doing it again on me? Are you freezing up again? I tell you, it's tough these days. There we are. You back? You're not back? There we are.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out. But yeah, no, I like beach volleyball. Beach volleyball is cool.
Look at that. We're getting Rita. Rita, I'm not bad. Actually, I would consider myself to be very good. But somebody said, a lot of people reached out to me to ask if I was there in France for the Olympics. And I've never been to an Olympics. And I don't know that I'd go to an Olympics. I feel like I would get in way too much trouble over there.
Yeah, I would go. I would probably go if there was one close again, right? Like I didn't go when it was in Vancouver, but if there was another one that was close again, I might entertain that. That might be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, if I was younger, I would consider it. Or if it's
credentials for it.
Yeah, that would be the one. To like if I got credentials or like for instance, Snoop Dogg is going to be over there. A couple people mentioned they're like, dude, man, if you and Snoop Dogg were doing like a show to talk about all of the different Olympics, that it would be hysterical. And I'm like, I don't know that I would be on that same level as Snoop Dogg. I mean, we do share a birthday, which is awesome. You know what I mean? That is kind of cool. So, I mean, I've just found that out that we have a birthday. So I'm going to invite him to my birthday party where the Eagles are going up against the Giants. So if you would like to come to my birthday party, all you have to go is go to Philly Sports Trips and book the Eagles versus Giants bus trip where we're going to have 1,000 people show up. That's definitely happening. But so I'm going to cordially invite Snoop Dogg to my birthday.
Why not?
Whether he shows or not is a different story. But
I mean, it's a no unless you ask, right? So
that's exactly correct. I'd be like, hey, Snoop, I know that I'm not quite as famous as you are, but we share a birthday.
That should be enough.
That should be enough. Like, hey, my birthday is your birthday, and there ain't nothing better than Snoop Dogg and PSG in the house watching the Eagles beat the hell out of Giants.
I mean, that last part's definitely going to happen.
Well, yes. And like I said, I'm gonna actually there's going to be live bands going on and stuff like that day. It's going to be a fun trip, a
Oh,
very fun trip. So it would be awesome if he would show up. I have to reach out to his people,
yep. Yep.
and maybe get lucky that it crosses his path. Like oh, hold on, I know that Philly guy. I see him all over the place. He seems to be everywhere. Maybe I want to go see him. That's how that would happen. That's the only way that would happen. To
Oh,
be
for
like,
sure.
man, I see this guy everywhere. I want to go spend my birthday with him because he's going to be turning 53. I'm turning 52.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like you know, it's not like he's turning 60 and I'm turning 52 or anything like that. It's not like a
Sure.
special birthday. 53
Yeah.
is just like any other day.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's one of the things as you get older, right? Any of them that have a zero after it, you're like, oh, okay, like that one seems important. The rest of them, you're like, I mean, it's a Tuesday. I got things to do.
Of course, Hollis is coming to my party. There's no doubt. Hollis is coming to my party. I think Todd Herremans is coming to my party. There is a possible that there could be a sighting with a guy whose initials are JK, but I can't speak about that in any real sense. Um, you know, Jamie King is hard to get sometimes. If anybody could read between the lines there, that's.
So,
But yeah.
sticking with the football end of it, am I the only one that missed that Vrabel was picked up by the Browns until I saw the video of him running with Deshaun Watson at practice? Like, I didn't realize he was part of that coaching staff.
Me neither. Is he part of the coaching staff, or did he come in as a consultant?
I guess I don't know. I
Yeah.
just saw
So
the, I just saw
you,
the video and I was like, that seems wild. I feel like we should have known something about it. I mean, honestly, it seemed like we would have heard something even if he was just going in as a consultant.
I mean, who did I hear that? What's his face was going? Belichick was going to be a consultant for the Broncos
Okay.
defensive coordinator. That they asked him to be the defensive coordinator, and he turned it down. So,
Yeah.
but that he was going to consult the Broncos on that. And I think you see a lot of that. Like coaches that aren't coaching right now, they will definitely be, they go in as consultants. They get paid. These are checks that they pick up. So if you're not doing anything, I would not expect that he is part of that coaching staff. He might be a senior consultant where like he's part of it, but not really, because ultimately, if he was to get picked up by anybody else or anybody else would want his services, then that's going to take precedence. So he doesn't have an official title, is what my expectations are.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's any. I just saw the video and I was like, oh, that's wild.
So yeah, I did not see it.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't. I guess it doesn't actually really say.
You know what I'm surprised about amongst anything else? That John Gruden doesn't get asked more to go work with offenses. Uh, I I kind of I thought that there was a chance he was going to get back into coaching this past year. I
So he has been doing some, but it's been in the European League.
Okay.
So he has done some over there. Yeah.
He's too good of a mind. He's too
Oh,
good of an offensive mind to not be in football, even after all the crap that occurred. It's you know nobody remembers. It's like, oh yeah, he was talking bad about a bunch of different owners, and he was letting people know where some of the bodies were buried.
yeah. I mean, the thing is I laughed that his lawsuit got thrown out when you can tell there's there's no chance that his were the only emails that had sensitive material in them when they were talking about what was it? It was like 140,000 emails, only Gruden's. And we're talking about the old owner of Washington who couldn't not
Snyder.
see some stuff, right? You're telling me Gruden was it? I mean, this was obviously a witch hunt. I mean, so the
Right.
fact that somehow that got thrown out is hilarious to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's that whole Dan Snyder thing is just kind of funny to me in general. Like, oh yeah, woohoo, yay! It's Dan's plan. You know what I mean? So now that the Harris Group is part of it, it's like, yeah, I hate them even more because I can't stand the Harris Group.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big fan of entities that own franchises for profit. And that's what that is. So they're taking advantage of Washington. And it was interesting because I met there was a Phillies fan, a couple Phillies fans that were Commanders fans,
Okay.
and okay. I mean, I guess it's good that you stick by your team, all 14 of you that are part of the fan base. Uh, but maybe if you guys wind up in third place this year, you'll get like another 3 or 4 more.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just I don't know. Commanders stink. PU, they stink.
I
And
mean, they'll probably be better this year.
well, they'll be better than the Giants because they really stink.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the Giants, the only team that's going to be worse than them is the Panthers.
I would actually. I don't know if you had to ask me. I think that the Giants are going to be worse.
Really? You think they're going to be the worst team in the league?
Yep.
Really? All right.
I got the over under on 16 touchdowns total for the
Woo.
season.
Oh, wow. That's the line on it?
Uh no, I don't know the line. I don't
Oh,
know the line.
I
I'm
was.
making my own over under.
I got you. I thought that was the actual Vegas line on it. I was like,
Under
that is
under
amazing.
1 touchdown per week. That's what I believe. Offense. They may get a couple of wackadoo defensive touchdowns.
Sure. Sure.
So I'm not
Or
counting them.
6 or whatever. Yeah. No, I'm with you.
But
Uh, yeah.
I think they're going to have a very, very, very bad season.
Yeah. I mean, I would not doubt it. That is not a good team. I don't know that they end up that bad on offense because if that's the case, like if it starts heading that way, Daniel Jones starting goes away and Drew Lock will score more points than that. He'll turn the ball over though. So like, I don't know that it equates to wins, but you probably score more points with Daniel Jones, or I mean with Drew Lock.
Yeah, but who's he throwing it to? They got the rookie. They got the rookie wide
Yeah.
receiver, but that's it.
Yeah. Well, but we're talking about 1 touchdown and then occasionally 2 to beat your line. So
Yeah, but then you got to score that every week.
yeah.
There's going to be weeks where they don't score any.
You think they get shut out a few times?
No, I think that they may score
Yeah,
like
well,
3 or 6 points.
I gotcha. Yeah.
It's possible they could get shut out, but I don't know. I mean, it's just I think that they are going to be. Maybe that's what we should do in the next couple of days. Do power rankings of football. Maybe after I get back from Seattle, we'll do the power
Yeah.
rankings from 32 on up.
Yeah, because then we could do that as a segment one day a week where we just update our power rankings each week.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that could be fun. That could be fun. I think the first few weeks you see a lot of movement.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Especially from some teams going down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, especially as you're going in now, right? Because it's way too early. So you're like, oh, these are the guys that are going to be, and then a couple of those teams are probably going to start this year 0-2, and you're like, well, I guess they're not in the top 10. They might
Exactly.
return, but today ain't that day.
And look at that. I tell you, when it's just the two of us, we actually talk like not like it's not an hour's not long enough.
Yeah, no, exactly. We cruise right through it, but we're there. So if you were watching on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps bring our content to you. And of course, if you are watching on Roku, stay tuned for the next hour. Other than that, we will see you all tomorrow.
Take care, guys.